What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, talking today about The Last of Us Part 1 on PC, because the game is just so incredibly busted, but now Digital Foundry has just released an hour-long deep dive exploring every aspect of this completely busted game, including low-quality assets, poor frame rates, incredibly load times that are actually 6 times longer than they were on the PlayStation 5, and I just finished watching their video, and I kind of wanted to talk about it and show you some clips from it, because it's so insane how bad of a port this is. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, part of the reason I'm talking about this is because, in general, I really do genuinely love what PlayStation has been up to over the course of the last 2 years. So many of their games, from frickin' God of War Ragnarok, Miles Morales, of course, Ratchet and Clank, I mean, literally banger after banger. I think that Sony has really figured out a good rhythm of releases. So going on to PC games, I kind of expected that level of quality. You know, hey, we know how to make games, we know how to put stuff on PC, presumably, but I guess we would be wrong. So here's a little trailer they put out on Twitter today that initially caught my attention, where they actually showed how this game is technically unreviewable in their normal style. This game is so busted, it is constantly getting hotfixes, rushed tweaks. Even as I make this video, I'm sure Sony is trying their very best to fix it. Now, the first thing they actually talked about in their video, which I am going to link, it's at the top of the description box. I highly encourage you to watch it. I just am so blown away by this, I wanted to react to it. This is the frame rate. Look how unstable the frame rate is at medium graphics. Now, they did a bunch of different testing at different levels of quality, different styles of PC. Look how bad this runs. It's dipping down to almost 30 FPS. Look at this. On PlayStation 5, solid 60 frames a second on PS5 on performance mode. And seeing it side by side, I feel like if you were just looking at here on the left side, you probably wouldn't notice the difference that much, frame rate wise. I mean, if you're looking at the textures, clearly this game looks way worse. The individual pebbles and stuff on the ground look really funky, whereas the PlayStation 5 version obviously looks very, very good. But man, once you see that difference in frame rate, oh my gosh, it legitimately looks bad. But here's the stuff that actually catches my eye. Apparently, there is some technical details that seem to be completely different. This is Ultra Settings 4K RTX 4090, so literally the best graphics card in the world right now on the right, and a standard PlayStation 5 on the left. It's actually not properly doing shadow physics. It's supposed to do background calculations to show the light coming off this, going through this, and then casting the shadow on the wall. It's not actually refracting. It's not actually calculating this. It's just a standard like glow effect. It's crazy that this officially confirms that the PC version actually is missing detail. It's actually missing parts of the final product. Like, this is a visual point. I mean, this is a quality issue. Here's the thing that definitely kind of freaks me out the most. I talked about this when I initially played it. I encountered load screens over a minute long. So they tested this on a very strong PC with medium textures, a PlayStation 5, and then a very high-end PC on ultra settings. No matter what, it takes a very, very long time. This loaded this very cool scene here in 13 and a half seconds. Look how long they're waiting. Now, I almost want to skip forward here for you. Look, it takes a minute to load in. This literally means that this load screen is like 4 times longer. This is insane. Why is medium textures taking longer? This is so crazy to me. Like, and what's really great is they showed a side-by-side comparison to show this isn't just typically a Sony problem. This is a Last of Us problem. This is the Miles Morales. They did this as a comparison. This came out on PC. All right, 1.92, 3 seconds. Okay, so literally 50% longer technically, but we're still talking about within 1 second of each other. It's insane to me that this port is just so unoptimized. And I'm kind of still just blown away because this is the delayed version. They pushed this game back by a full month to try and polish it better. This is what we got now. Imagine if they hit the original release date of March 3rd. I cannot even imagine how messed up that version of the game probably was. But man, it actually manages to get worse. These are just some raw textures to try and show you some comparison. So this is when you just stop and stare at the boards. When it comes to a very expensive supercomputer, again, the RTX 4090, ultra settings compared to the PlayStation 5 on performance mode versus medium textures, I do think this has a little bit better individual detail. You can actually see some extra shadows in the vents here. There's a little bit of extra griminess in this grout that actually looks really, really good. It's hard to say how much of that's just different lighting. It does seem like the shadow is at a slightly different angle because obviously they recorded these clips separately, so you're gonna have a little bit of a different effect. But just staring at it, it's bonkers to me how medium textures looks kind of blurry by comparison, actually. I mean, it's just weird to me that they managed to downgrade a game. Like, let's keep in mind, the original Last of Us came out for the PlayStation 3, so the fact that they managed to upgrade it so much for the PlayStation 5, at the time, I guess I kind of took it for granted, but now seeing this version of it, wow, we definitely see how bad it can get. Man, this is the thing that still trips me out the most, is the missing detail. Even look at this, cracks in the ground are missing. This is the PlayStation 5 on performance mode. This is medium settings with that 2070 Super. Look at that. Like, okay, this grass, in my opinion, does not look great, those leaves and stuff, but wow, they look like PlayStation 2 stuff over here. I am legitimately disappointed. I love the PlayStation so much. I love a lot of these PlayStation exclusives so much. So the fact that they managed to take one of the most beloved freaking PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 games of all time and make such a lazy port out of it. Wow. Hold on. I want to see this. Let's see them compare these logos. The low quality texture one looks a little bit blurrier for sure. Yeah, it makes everything kind of have this mild transparency to it that seems like a very weird choice. Man. So basically what they do in this video is all three of them are playing the game and lining up and looking at the same stuff. Again, here is another time where the individual assets look better on the PC on ultra settings. Like right here, I think that these leaves look more realistic. I think especially just the way the shadows work, this definitely just looks better. That logo looks better on this. But then when it comes to low graphics, it's just weird the fact that it seems like they must have tried to drop this into a different engine or ported it weird. I don't know. This looks decent, but man, I wish it could have a standard frame rate. The game is still experiencing constant crashes. There's still people posting absolutely insane glitches. It's wild that they did an hour-long breakdown of the game itself, but after having watched so much of it, I am blown away by just how much they managed to bork this up. Look, even the shadow reflections are just so bad. The darkness is too thick. Man, what happened? Sony, you guys have a porting studio called Nixxes. They're some of the best of the best of the best. Why did you not use them? Truly a baffling mess, but I just wanted to react to this because honestly, the entire kerfuffle of The Last of Us Part 1 on PC is fascinating to me. If you want to watch this in 4K for yourself, it is linked at the top of the description box. Please give it a view because it's kind of insane how this even happened. I love you guys very much. Thank you for watching this video. If you could, give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. All right. Back to playing some actually good PlayStation games. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.